Hello, 7th graders. Okay, so what we're going to do is last week we did our 1-point perspective cubes, and so this is the next step, which is the 1-point perspective city. So you're going to want to take your ruler. Okay, you need a ruler for this again, just like we did before. Okay, this is for checkpoint 1. So not really a fan of this ruler because it doesn't have a flat edge, but I'm going to use it. Okay, so you need to create your horizon line. Okay, again, you're not going to do it too dark because there are going to be places that you're going to erase. Okay, in the center of my horizon line, I am going to create my point for my 1-point perspective. Doesn't have to be too big, doesn't have to be specifically like, you don't have to measure to know that it's directly in the center, but about in the center would be good. The next part that we're going to do is going to be the road that's going down the center of your city. Okay. Remember, this is going to be the ground, this is going to be the sky. Okay. You don't want it at too deep of an angle, like don't go all the way out to here because then you're not going to have much room for your buildings, and you need to fit 3 buildings on each side of your street, at least. Okay. Sometimes it looks better if you have more, just to let you know. Okay. Okay, so that creates that triangle in the bottom here. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make the same lines that are going to go back to our vanishing point, and those are going to be for our sidewalk. Okay, so first line is going to be really thin, and then the next line is going to go out just a little bit. Okay, so see, now I've got 1, 2, 3 lines on this side, and I'm going to have the same on this side in a second. You want to try to make these lines even with the ones on the other side. They should be pretty much the same on both sides. You don't want one side to be really wide and the other side to be really thin. That wouldn't make sense. Okay. Ooh, I moved a little. Let me fix that. Oh, it wants to move right there. Okay. I'm going to erase that, fix that up. Okay. All right, so now I've got basically the curb and the sidewalk, the road, curb, sidewalk. Okay. The next part that you're going to do, it's very important that you keep your ruler going straight across. Okay, and this is for the lines in your sidewalk. You also want them to be just about to make it look like a cube. I'm making a straight edge because my ruler, since it has a rounded edge, I just can't really get it right on the edge to make it so I know that the line is straight, because you definitely, it's very important that the lines be straight on these, otherwise it's going to look messed up. And I don't feel like having to redo it. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure that I have my straight edge and that it's right on the edge of my paper when I'm doing this, so that way I know that I'm doing a straight line. Okay, and I want to do it so that this space across is about the same as the height. Okay, all right, so I'm going to do a straight line and a straight line. Notice I didn't put it in the little line. Okay, there's a reason for that, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, so this straight line across, that is going to be those little markers in the sidewalk. Now, to get the curb to look like a curb, you're going to need a straight line up and down at that spot where you'll see where this separation meets. Okay. So that's going to create my the illusion that you're stepping down off of that. Okay? You're going to do the same thing over here. Straight line up and down. Okay? So now it makes that illusion like this is a step down onto the road. Okay, we're going to do that the whole way up. So you got to make sure you're going. So as you get farther up, you're going to notice that your lines for your separation, it's going to be, they're going to get closer together because your lines are getting narrower, and you want it to stay that kind of like square. You don't want it to start looking like a long rectangle. Okay? So I spend a good amount of time on this. My paper a little. See how this one's starting to look a little bit long? I don't really like that, but okay, bring it down. I'm very particular about this because I want it to look like a real sidewalk. I'll probably fast forward through this just a little bit so that, because you guys get the idea of what you're supposed to do. Okay, as you can see, those lines go all the way up, okay? And anytime you see if your line didn't go all the way across, you need to make sure that it does, okay? So now I need to do the same thing where I, hold my ruler or my straight edge on the edge of my paper and do the straight lines going up and down for each of the curves. And again, you'll know your line is straight is if you hold your straight edge on the edge of your paper. So again, I'll probably fast forward through this. Okay, as you can see, I fast forwarded through, so each of these lines are there already, so we give the illusion of our curve. Okay, the next part that we're going to do is very, very important. Okay, we are going to do our, we're going to start the buildings, okay? The way you're going to do the first one is right here where the sidewalk meets the bottom of your paper. You are going to line up your straight edge, and you are going to draw a straight line up past your horizon line, okay? And then you're going to line up your straight edge with the edge of your paper. And draw your top line across. Okay, so now I'm left with this big rectangle, as you can see. Goes from the spot where my sidewalk meets the bottom of my paper, goes all the way up past my horizon line here, and then off the paper. Okay? You can do that on both sides, since we are going to need this on both sides. Actually, on this one over here, I'm not going to go past the horizon line though. And I'll show you why. It's good to have a variety of different height buildings, because it makes it look more realistic, makes it look more like an actual city. Okay. I'll make sure my line is straight. The top of your building should be parallel to your horizon line. Okay. All right. So now we're going to work on this building on the left-hand side first. Okay. So from this corner, you're going to draw a straight line lightly to your vanishing point. Okay. So if it makes it easier for y'all to see, I'm going to line up my straight edge so that it's on the vanishing point and on the corner of my building, and then I'm lightly going to draw a line that connects the two. Okay. The next step is to end the building. Right now it just goes on forever. Okay. We need to end it, and the way you're going to end it is a vertical line, nice straight vertical line going up. Okay. So I'm lining up my straight edge with the bottom of my paper, and I'm going to draw a straight line, and I'm going to stop when I get to my sidewalk. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what to erase. Okay, you're going to erase this right here. Okay, you're going to erase this line here, the horizon line that's inside your building. Because our buildings are not see-through, you will not see the horizon line through it. So this is why I said make sure you don't draw too dark, because we don't really want to see too much of a shadow from it. Now we are going to add color eventually, so that will help get rid of some of this shadow, but you don't want it to be so dark that you can even see it through the color. Okay. All right, so that's the start of a building. We don't have any windows and doors on it yet, so it's not complete, but it's the start. So now we're going to do the same thing over here. Okay, from this corner here, I need to go to my vanishing point. Okay, so I'm going to get out my straight edge, and I'm going to go from this corner to my vanishing point. Line it up. Okay. Again, I don't want to go too dark. That was pretty dark. So you might be able to see that still when I'm done. Okay. Now the difference is, because this building doesn't go above the horizon line, we're going to see the roof. So we're going to see the top of this building. Whereas with this building, we're not. Okay. So the next line that I need to make is I need to end the front side of the building. So I'm going to line up my straight edge. And I'm going to draw a straight line up. And I'm going to have it stop at my sidewalk. All right, so now I'm going to erase this guideline because I don't need it. I'm a little upset at how dark I drew it, but it is what it is. Okay, so you can see that ghost line. I don't like that. All right, so now to end this so that we have a roof, I'm going to draw a straight line across. So this line needs to be parallel to my horizon line. So I need to make sure that my straight edge is on the edge of my paper. Okay, and it is. So I'm going from this point here, and I'm going straight across the end. So now you can see the roof. Okay, we'll make that more interesting in a minute, but for now that's fine. So we've got two buildings started. Okay, The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to draw a building over here, but there's going to be an alleyway in between. I want it to look like as if you can walk between the two buildings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure my ruler or my straight edge is on the edge of my paper, and I'm going to leave just a little bit of space and draw a line straight up, and I want this one taller than my last building. So I'm going to have it go right about to there. Okay? See how there's a little bit of space? That's what I want. The next thing I'm going to do is, just like I did on this, I'm going to draw my straight line across, but I'm not going to go all the way off my paper. I'm going to have it stop about in the middle. So, I'm going to line up my straight edge with the edge of my paper. I'm going to have it go about midway, and then I'm going to stop. Okay? Then I'm going to draw a line from here to there. It has to be straight, again, so straight edge on the edge of your paper. This is really important, guys, because this is more precise. Remember, this isn't just freehand drawing. It won't look good, and then it's, you know, even someone who's not doing this project is going to know that it's off. It won't take me to see it. Okay, now how we're going to finish this building is we need the front face of the building. We want the place, like, you know, that's against the sidewalk that you would walk in. So I need to draw a line from this corner to my vanishing point. This is the one that you don't want to draw too dark, because if you draw it too dark, you're not going to be able to erase it all the way. Okay. So I'm going to line it up and draw my line. Okay? So now I need to end it. It goes on forever and ever, and we don't want that. But remember, I still need space for one little building on this side. So it's got to be, you're going to have 3 buildings on each side, so don't make them too wide each. Otherwise, you're going to have trouble fitting them all. Okay, so this building's going to be a little bit thinner than my first one. Okay, and so now I'm going to erase this guideline. I also need to erase my horizon line inside my building. So this line right here, and this little line right here. All right, so that building's not quite done. Okay, other than needing windows and doors, it also needs that little line for the alleyway, because right now it doesn't look like you could walk in it. Okay, so we are going to create that line, and the way you do that is a straight line across parallel with our horizon line. Okay, so see how that works? Now it looks like we can walk in between these 2 buildings. That's what you want. Okay, this last building on the left-hand side, I am going to make it so that there is no alleyway. So it's going to go directly, it's going to be right up against this line here. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to decide how tall I want it by looking at this building, okay? I can either go taller than it, and if I'm going to do that, I'm going to extend this line up, okay? And however far I extend this line up will say how much taller than this building it is. Or I can go shorter than it. If I go shorter than it, then I just kind of pick a spot on this line and go to the vanishing point, okay? For this purpose, I am going to go a little bit taller. I just want to. Maybe on this side I'll stay a little bit shorter, but on this side I'm going to go taller. So I'm going to extend this line up then. I want to make sure it's straight. All right, so okay. So same idea. I'm going to draw my line across, and I'm going to end about a little bit more than halfway over on that other building. Okay, so I'm going to draw this across, and I'm going to stop right about there. Okay, so now straight line up and down to end the side face of the building. Okay, and then for the front, we need to go to our vanishing point. It's going to be a very steep line. It's okay. Make sure I'm on my point. Okay. Don't draw it too dark, guys, because you got to erase part of it. Okay, and then the last part is I need to do a straight line up and down to end it. Remember, because this is closer to the vanishing point, it's going to be almost straight as it is. All right. Don't make it so narrow that you can't fit a door and windows. Okay, so there we go. That ends it. I'm going to erase my guideline. And now this side of the street is done so far. Okay, it's not completed, but so far it's done. Okay, I realized I started to erase part of my sidewalk. I got to fix that. All right. So now, this side of the road also needs a building with an alleyway, and I'm just going to make things easy and put it across from this alleyway. So, again, we're going to start the same way, straight line up and down. I do want this one tall, but I don't want it so tall, so I'm going to make it like that. Well, actually, no, you know what? I changed my mind. I want this to be my tall building. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this across. Make sure I'm on the edge of my paper so I know I'm drawing a straight line. I'm going to stop right about here. Okay, and same thing here. Make sure my straight edge is on the end of my line, or end of my paper, should I say. And I'm going to bring it down past the horizon line and stop at the top of my other building. Okay, so now I'm going to draw from this point to my vanishing point. That's how I'm going to get my front face of my building, the roof line. So I line it up, go from this corner to the vanishing point. Remember, I'm not going to draw it too dark because I don't want to be able to see that once I erase it. Okay? Now I need to finish the front, so it's going to be a straight line up and down. So gather yourself, put your straight line, make sure it's on the edge of your paper, and draw it all the way down to your sidewalk and stop. Okay? So now I'm going to erase this guideline here. Okay? I'm going to erase the horizon line inside my building. For the front and for this part that's the face that's facing us. So the one that's facing the road and the one that's facing us. All right. So now we are almost done this side. We need another building. And remember, this one I said I'm going to make shorter than this building. So this one, I'm just going to pick a spot on this line, how tall I want it. So I'm going to want it right about there. So from there to my vanishing point, I'm going to draw a light line. Okay? And now to end this building, I just need a line straight up and down. Okay? All the way to my sidewalk. Okay, now I'm going to erase my guideline. And I'm going to darken up my little bit of my horizon line that's left that we can see. Okay, and I forgot I need to add that straight line here, so this is a good time to do that too for my alleyway. Okay, so now we are left with basically our cubes, okay, and a road in between them. So now I'm going to stop this video here. The next video is going to show you how to create your windows and your doors for your buildings. Okay?